Hello, Mackie here. It is officially 11:41 p.m. on the 17th of November 2025. And welcome everyone to this pretty much special episode of the channel. Don't worry, it's not going to be as big as many people. It's not going to be like a 50 subscriber count and all kind of stuff. It's just going to be me talk about League of Legends and all kind of stuff. And we got some pretty big news. In fact, there is so much news to be covering in this episode of the show. I don't know if I can call it a topic or something. There's just so much news right now. I could have called it a flock of news on a Monday or in a couple of hours or minutes. By the time you're seeing this on a Tuesday, I would have done all of that. So I decided to call this little title "The Flock of News After Melissa." Now, in case why do I have to mention this is because we, the entire Jamaican community, lost. Not saying all of it. Luckily, all of it. Luckily, us in Portland, of course. But we came out of the most horrific storm, the most horrific hurricane in the history of Jamaica. It's a Category 5 hurricane, and it just swept through all of Western Jamaica. And trust me, the images, the voices, the financial situation being taking place is just so devastating, of course. And for anybody who don't know, this is coming out at the heels of the 20th anniversary of Katrina, which really devastated New Orleans. And if mentioning Katrina in to all the New Orleans fans will be like PTSD for them. And I think if you're a Jamaican, mentioning Melissa in for the next 10 or 15 years is going to give you PTSD right now. And who knows what will be the next hurricane? Maybe it might happen next year. I mean, remember, we had Beryl the year before, and then this happening. And I just God know what will happen this year or the next. So I'm not gonna be like I'm not the kind of person to advocate like climate change and all kind of stuff. This is not the kind of channel to do that. But we gotta have to like some people have to do a little bit better, less cars driving, all that kind of stuff. Again, not advocating for climate change or global warming and all kind of stuff. Not a climatist. But with the growing weather being changing year after year and all kind of stuff, that's just it. And it's been rough. We lost a family member. I think in about a couple of minutes, it'll be a week since my uncle died. And yeah, it's been kind of like the last 16 days has been rough for us. Rough for me, of course. Like, little story, I kind of walk from home after I gone to work, and I literally break down. Like, it's the fact that I have to walk through the dark, but most importantly, I have to wake up like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning each time. And it's been stressful. I mean, I can understand why you do that because we have to charge our phones, of course. Our workplace have generators, of course, so we have to charge our phones and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, it's been a rough 16 days. And in about 15 minutes from now, as you all recorded, it's been a week since we had current. We have current since last week, and I have to say, we are now back and running. We are literally back and running. I posted my short talk about the massive news in League of Legends. It has been a while. It's been a long while, so I'm just slowly getting back in the game, okay? And I know listen, I'm not listen. By the way, if you're looking at this right now, we are in just 6 days right now. By the time I'm recording this is going to be the League Awards, which is hosted by Shocks and Cajal, two of the most well-known people, of course, in League of Legends. And for anybody who don't know, there's a award called the Content Creator Award. Let me just show you down there. And I have to say right now, massive shout out to my boy David Shynock, who actually he deserved it. He deserved it. I mean, this is not me jealous and everything. This is like admiring his work. The guy has grinded out. I mean, his latest video is just kind of like burying 100 Thieves. Like, he just ended 100 Thieves just a while ago. And, for him to be part of this nomination is great. I mean, he could have gone to Germany, but he decided, well, it's close to like Thanksgiving. Which, by the way, I think Thanksgiving is next week. For God's sakes, can you believe it? Thanksgiving is next week. My mom's birthday is gonna be like closer to that. So it's been a wild, wild couple of days. There's the other content creators. I will dominate. Psycho Poro, Tolkien, LPL English, the Esports Garage, Last Free Nation, Trayton, Yamato Cannon, and Andrew DeStefano. And those are all the esports creators of the year award. There's also community creator of the year, team of the year, rookie of the year, moment of the year, broadcast plays, all kind of stuff. And this voting will take place now, and in 6 days it will be closing. So please do me a favor, and I'm not advertising for anybody. Just go online, and I will link the description below the website about voting for your esports award. Just I am advocating for David Shynock to win this award, even if he doesn't. The fact that he's being nominated, it's a huge deal. It's like crazy thing, like some Wandering Waves getting nominated for Mobile Games of the Year, which is a thing, by the way. It's a thing. So being nominated is a huge deal, and someday, some great day that I wish I would be like one of those people. Like, and listen, let's be honest, these guys have been grinding out for like years and years and years. I'm just getting started. I'm just like growing, of course, and I'm not gonna be like perfect. I'm not gonna be as perfect as many people are. I'm not gonna be as brilliant as I will dominate. I will not be as great as David Shynock. I'm not gonna be as charismatic as Secretary Pro. I'm just a guy talking on a webcam and talking on a internal speaker. I don't even have like lights and anything like that. I'm just a guy doing all original stuff, and my numbers are not being great, but I am blessed, and that's the most important thing for you guys. As long as you have things that you can record and things that you can talk about and have some kind of thing that you're talking about, you are blessed, regardless of the numbers, regardless of like your situation, all kind of stuff, regardless of where you are, what ethical backgrounds you are, and what you have done. If you can put it on the work, you will be blessed and you will be belong here. So I'm gonna keep grinding my butt off. I may not gonna post like 500 videos a year or do 50 TikToks a year, but I will do my best. I will do the best what I can with the situation that is given, and consider those circumstances we have like a couple of days ago. Enjoy every single moment we have because we never know what tomorrow might bring. So we're gonna treat every day like it's the last. And I am blessed to be humbled by my parents, my mom and my dad, and my grandmother who's in Nantucket, Auntie Kamika, um, Devon, Keith, Michael, all my uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews, Auntie Palm, which, by the way, I forgot. Happy birthday, Auntie Palm, if you're watching this right now, or maybe like stumbling around in my algorithms, of course. Forgot your birthday, but happy belated, of course. And yeah, so it's been a rough couple of days. We just got power. We're okay. I'm blessed. We're back. I'm back doing League of Legends. Maybe I'll do some shorts, of course, talking about different news. But for now, yeah, please go online, vote for your favorites, vote for all the stuff that is League of Legends. And the awards will take place on November 28th, which is pretty much after Thanksgiving, of course. And it will take place on 18 CET, which is going to be around noon. Consider that we already have daylight savings already wrapped up. So, yeah, please go vote, support, do all you can, and support this entire show and support the creators and all that stuff. And hopefully, and I'm not making any promises, but in about 3 to 4 years, I might be nominated. Might be. But as a far fetched, of course, it will take me equipment and all kinds of stuff. My room is not even finished built. So once we get all of that sorted out, once we get everything kind of sorted out, and if I get be in a better place, in a better mindset, then I'll be fine. And I'll be fine. Okay, that is 9 minutes of me rambling all kind of stuff, catching you all this kind of stuff and where I am, and of course, I'm okay. We're fine. And let me tell you something, the entire League of Legends world, it's not fine. It is literally on fire. Because, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Oh, yeah. This is chaos. These are all the things that is happening while during blackout. And, of course, we got to start off with probably the biggest story yet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Gumayushi, three-time world champion, world MVP, and a veteran of T1 for 7 years, is leaving T1. Yes, this is not a clickbait. This is not something to be like, my goodness, it actually happened. They did the thank you thing. They did all the videos. He's leaving T1. And also Durant got extended, which is great. But this is a massive big news. To the surprise of so many people, because of how successful he is with him and Carrier, like him and Carrier, like God tier, bot tier. Maybe A tier, S tier in the bot tier thing, but they're godsend. They are absolutely godsend in the bot tier. And for that to be broken up, it is painful. It is absolutely painful. Now, the unsurprising part is, if we listen, Durant, the whole Zeus situation was kind of like the big headliner of the entire year. The second biggest headliner of the entire year was Pace being replaced by Smash. And it took the sane T1 fans and Joe Marsh, of all people, to even bring him back. And I feel like the back of my brain, if you're Gumi Yuji, is like, for all the success you have, for all the titles, for all the money you have, and by the way, their family is the most rich. And by the way, his sister did a comic, by the way, talking about, him leaving T1 and all kinds of stuff. So they have a really talented family. His brother's like a StarCraft player, of course. So for all of that, it just had that feeling of like, I'm going to keep playing under Faker's shadow. Maybe it's not his words, of course. He doesn't say that much, but with that fandom, with Faker being there, it almost feels like I will never get my fair shake being my own self. And I think for him, it's like, I have to go to a different atmosphere, a different team, see if I acclimatize myself, see to do everything I can to win a championship, to prove myself that I'm not just a T1 faker, faker puppeteer in the team. I am my own person. Like Kyrie Irving trying to like go to the Celtics when trying to like not be the Batman, not be the Robin to LeBron James' Batman. It's kind of like that. And in just a couple of hours, he is now expected to join Hana Life Esports with Zeus. My God. So the two former T1 players who won championships are now going to join Hana Life Esports. And oh, by the way, before I'm going to go even further, this source is presented to you by the wonderful people. Okay, I'm not saying wonderful people because you know about esports journalism and all kinds of stuff these days. I'm not going to say wonderful, but the decently good people of Sheep Esports. And my camera froze. So I'm going to keep talking, of course, while by my camera frozen. Okay. I think this is a huge deal. I think this is a huge deal for T1. In fact, I'm just going to take off this. Let me just take off the camera and let's just take off the camera. All right, there. No camera. Let's just go talking. All right, let's continue. I think this is a huge deal. I think this is a huge deal for Hana Life Esports to get a world championship bot laner and a world championship top laner in your team. And if you think Hana Life Esports are not favorites to win LCK next year, maybe you get your eyes checked. They are looking like prime favorites to challenge Genji, to win, to like defend their first stand title because, of course, by the way, they won first stand this year. So they are in prime position to like be like one of the best teams in the LCK, be one of the contenders to win worlds. Now, of course, you have to replace the jungler because, of course, Paynard retired or gone to military, but it's kind of like retirement at this point. So they have a lot of pieces they have to sort out. But my God, to have Gumi Yushi in your team with Zeus? Okay, Hana Life Esports. That's some cooking right now. There is some cooking going on with Hana Life Esports. Now, for T1, the good news is they are not going to leave themselves empty-handed. Their replacement is someone is pretty good, someone who's decent, but the opinion in myself, and I said that in my TikTok or my shorts, is that it's a big drop-off. It's a huge drop-off. And Pays replacing Gumayushi, it's considered a drop off to many. Now, I said the same thing, of course, when like Duran replaced Zeus, and it was a pretty drop off. And Duran may be good, Duran may be crap, as we've seen in the World's Finals or the World's Tournament, of course. But let's be honest, if T1 can win with Duran being the LCK version of Shy, then somehow Pace can win Worlds with this team. All I'm just saying, man, I think Pace is in a fantastic position. He's not going to be Gumayushi. Nobody will replace him for his productivity and his brilliantness and his work. But if Pace can put up, let's just say 75% of the work and do well, then I said, my lord, maybe T1 might win Worlds again. I know, and I know everybody with me, T1 is like, well, that's it. T1 are cooked. Hang on. They replaced Zeus with Duran last year and still won Worlds. They will place Gumayushi and replace them with Pace, and they'll still win Worlds. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill and still won the Super Bowl. Like, come on. It's just not fair. It just proves that Faker is still there, duh. But also the system, the culture, the winning, it's just contagious. It can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter who they are. Like Khan, one of the best top players ever, went to T1 because of the winning. Like that's how good T1 are for like the longest time. It doesn't matter how decent they are, as long as that T1 core of Faker and Owner are still there. And Carrier, by the way, who can still cook, by the way, Carrier can cook in the support. I think Pace will be fine. It's a downgrade to many people, but I think Pace will be fine. So yeah, huge news. Gumayuchi leaves T1. He's probably going to Hana Life Esports, and Pace will replace him. And Duran just extends his contract. So massive stuff. But that was just the first earthquake of the entire news cycle. No, Raheem. That's just the first big news. We have aftershocks. My lord, we have aftershocks. And Busio decided to leave FlyQuest to join K Corp. Oh my lord. All right, man. So it pisses a lot of people. David Shynock did a video, of course, talking about Busio leaving really have a big blow to North America. And there is like a video that I watched talking about, okay, you know what, it's a doomer thing, but at least it's not that doomerism. And I think it's like there are two sides of the fence. Busio leaving FlyQuest and leaving North America, it's a gigantic blow. And you are now added in Jojo Pion and of course I don't remember his name. One of the K Corp Blues junglers. You have now 3 Americans in the LEC. That is more Americans in the LEC than you can even fathom. And if you're an LCS fan and you see another North American talent leaving because, well, what's the difference between LCS and LEC? The LEC have roadshows. The LEC have success. The LEC has a fandom, by the way. What does the LCS have? It lack bad viewership, closet matches, no rivalries, like team support not great. It's like, hey, David Shynock got to bury his 100 Thieves shirt for God's sake because of the whole situation of them leaving League of Legends just to give him a sour taste in his mouth. And he's a team player, and I cannot blame him. I'm a Man United fan. I'll support my team for God's sakes, no matter which player is leaving. And he's gonna ride with this North American thing until the day he dies. Trust me, he'll do. But to see a really good support, and Busio has been a magnificent support. I think Inspired is my player of the year. If you can go like player of the year in each region, Inspired my MVP for LTA or LCS right now. Busio is kind of like a close second. And he's been a wonderful support for this team. And for a North American support to leave to go to K Corp. And by the way, K Corp's lineup. It's going to be like G2, you better hide, man. You better hide, G2. You better hide. K Corp's gonna come for you. K Corp's literally gonna come for you. That's a little weird sentence. But I will say this right now in the current situation. Right now, North America is in rock bottom right now. That the only way you have to do it is like, well, you gotta develop NA talent. Like, you are losing. I mean, right now, NA doesn't have a chance in the foothold. They don't have a chance to compete internationally. They don't even have a chance to even compete in the viewership and the sponsorship marketing, of course. Like, would you rather watch the LEC right now with all the rivalries and the fandom and all kind of stuff than watching the LCS? Many people will do that, and Busio will do that too. And okay, let me just look for the K Corp blue team. Okay, let me just do my research. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes to find out the K Corp blue member because I think he has some things to say. Also, there's some other news about it, and oh, whoa, whoa, oof. Well, okay, this is a huge news. This is huge news. Well, not a huge news, of course, but I'll get to that later. Let me just go down there. Okay, there you go. That's a big news. Okay, we'll get to that news later. Let's just stick to the LTA. What is the K Core Blue Jungler? Common Core Blue Jungler. Hold up. Let's just look. I need to see the jungler for Common Core Blue. Let's just see. Um, what's their current lineup? Let me just see. Yukindo. Oh, Yukindo. Yes. Yukindo, by the way, jungler for K Core Blue. Turn down the bag offer for FlyQuest. And, like, Brother just turned down the request to just go to FlyQuest to replace maybe Whippo or God knows what jungler it is. And he just like straight up denied. In fact, he even told them, "Hey guys, don't come to North America. It's crap right there. Come to the LEC and we can compete and win." In fact, he's not competing for the LEC versus spot. He just they won EMA Masters, and that means they and Las Vegas will be competing for the LEC versus spot. And my God, it's a huge deal. It is a gigantic deal for him, for Busio, for Jojo Pian. 3 NA members being joined in the LEC is a massive, massive deal. It's a massive deal. And I can understand where North American fans are coming from, man. Seeing North American talent being cut left, right, and center at a time where North America is not having a great reputation right now, it's just not great. But I will tell you this. Just like Man United last year, you gotta have to suffer before you succeed. And right now, I feel like they got to like produce NA talent from the tier 2 season. You cannot just get your imports and thinking you'll be fine. You gotta have to go grassroots. You gotta have to grind it out. You gotta have to get some youths and some veterans and all kinds of stuff, and that's the way to go. That's my advice to all the North Americans. Get some collegiate players, man. Like, get some collegiate players, go to tier 2, develop, and then just come back 3 or 5 years. And everybody will be thinking, oh, this guy stinks. Let's just replace the guy. Please don't. Please don't. Because let's be honest, guys, you are never going to win Worlds at this rate. 5 years from now, the LEC might win Worlds. Might, in the grand scheme of things. But the LEC might win Worlds in like 5 or 6 years because of they poaching talent, they bring in a community, bring in a fan base, and more money and more eyeballs. Yeah, I can say why Busio want to leave. I can't blame the brother. The money is big, the reputation is big, the fandom is big, all the road shows is big. Can't blame the brother. And that leaves a huge, huge hole in the FlyQuest support. That, by the way, Masu and Quad are staying, by the way. Let's just see if I get it right. Yeah, Masu and Quad are staying, which is good news, of course. And yeah, let's just see how FlyQuest will go from there. In fact, I think FlyQuest are going to be fine because I let me just see if I got the news. Oh, Griffin, dear old Griffin, is going to be joining FlyQuest, and he's also replacing Inspired. Now, losing Busio and Inspired is like that's it. GG's. Game over for FlyQuest. It's over. It is over for FlyQuest. They're done. They're not going to compete for LCS anymore. It is over. Bury them. Put them in the grave. But then you look at the surface. Gakkos, who's by the way staying. Griffin in the jungle. Quad and Masu still in there. Support is in the air right now. There's a possibility that FlyQuest will be fine. I think FlyQuest came out of this pretty fine, pretty unscathed to be honest. Unfortunately, you lose, Newt Duck and Minty. And of course, replace him with ThinkCard as a person who knows develop talent. Just look at NRG, of course, and the whole and Dokula and Palafox and all kind of stuff. So if you're a FlyQuest, your situation has gone from pretty rough and pretty screwed to like not the worst, but not great enough to be challenging for LCS. And that's fine. That's like as long as you're not crap, you're okay. And I think FlyQuest will be okay. So the players that they lost is huge. I mean, Inspired. My God. Inspired was the reason why FlyQuest were like winning, of course. In fact, Inspired is my MVP of the entire team. Pretty much the MVP of this entire year. Pretty much my Western MVP. If I had to make a list between Western and Eastern MVP, Eastern MVP is Chovy, Western MVP is Inspired. He is literally the reason why FlyQuest were even doing decently at MSI. Like if it wasn't for Inspired, I'll tell you what. Without Inspired, I feel like FlyQuest would never even have a chance to beat BLG. Never have a chance to beat Gen G. He gave you a chance. And unfortunately for FlyQuest, they just fell off the cliff at Worlds, for God's sakes. They disappointed me, to be honest. So, Inspired, he's going to move on to another team. And now Griffin will join. And I think if you're FlyQuest, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine and dandy. And I think I have no problem with that. In fact, Inspired decided to go to Lion, of all teams. Like, Team Liquid, Cloud9, although they're not going to praise Blabber, of course. Of all the teams to do, Lion Gaming. Right, okay, so they're replacing OD, of course, for this. And I have to say, if you're a Lion Gaming, what a massive upgrade. The LTA or LCS Player of the Year in your entire lap. Listen, I'm not saying Lion can win LCS in the drop of a hat, but my goodness gracious, you cannot have a better upgrade in jungle than Inspired for Odo. And it makes this entire LCS so wide open. Like, we don't know what, Team Liquid. I'm going to take the Team Liquid, of course. Team Liquid are going to be contenders. Cloud9 contenders. FlyQuest are going to, fringe. Lion could be in the mix. Maybe Shopify Rebellion could be in the mix. It's there are, 3-4 teams contending to win LCS this year. 3 to 4 teams contend to win in LCS. It is going to be a bloodbath in this region. And with Inspire being there, this will be huge. Speaking of Team Liquid, APA has decided to leave Team Liquid and decided to go to the friendly confines of Cloud9, replacing Loki, who decided to return home to Korea. Now, where in Korea? Which team? We don't know. But take away the personality crap, take away all the bad talk and all kind of stuff. APA is a phenomenal player. He's a really good player. Well, let's just forget about this year in general. The whole team fell off the cliff. In fact, they were falling off completely from first LTA championship to onwards, from first stand downwards. They were completely cooked. And maybe APA is a reason. And I think a new environment, new atmosphere, new challenge for him will be huge for him. And if he can redeem himself, and let's be honest, North American players right now are not having the greatest shake in the last couple of years. But for APA in general, with his personalities, with his gameplay, with a new, fresh consideration, if you're Cloud9, you must be thinking, okay, APA is not bad. I like APA. We got the personality, the trash talking, the bravado. He can do well. He can actually give this team brilliantness. He can actually give this team a shot of winning. And if you're Cloud9, You got pretty much the whole team set. Hey, Cloud9 might do something this year. Cloud9 might do something next year. They might do something next year. Okay, let's go from. I think we have. Oh, do we cover all the? Nope, we haven't covered. Okay, Owl's Berserker is going to be joining Lion. Like I said, you got Inspired, Isles, Berserker. Jesus Rice. Jesus Rice. I mean, whoo, whoo. Rainover is going to take care of Coach. Like, Lions lineup look like a lineup that's going to win, like, let's say lock in or something. I'm not saying they're going to win lock in, but they're like close to like winning lock in if the cards were right. Lion are looking something. Lion are looking dangerous right now. And so does Sentinels for a little bit. So Sentinels lineup, which by the way, they're joining LCS. Hello, Sentinels. Get screwed in the first round. Dark Winds from Disguise, Rael, Hui, and Golden Glue. Yes, Golden Glue is gonna join Sentinels. That's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. That's a huge deal for Sentinels to have veteran teams in your lineup. Dark Winds, who were performing well again with Disguise when their team was like fighting for like tier 2 and tier 1. He was brilliant. And if you're Sentinels, you're like, hey, listen, you get the best players you can. You get a good coaching team. You try not to be bad in like the first couple of ways. Just treat the lock-in as like you're experimental. You're experimenting the team. You're experimenting the content and all kind of stuff. Just like yeah, get the content. Please give me content. Like I can do more content with Sentinels than I have like any other team. But this is year one of the Sentinels project. See if it works. See if it does well. Do not worry about lock-in. Do not worry about winning the whole thing. Just settle in. Do well. If you don't, that's fine. Nobody's calling heads or anything like that. Just settle in. Just settle in, okay? Just settle in. Okay. Do we have any other news? Okay. Ito to remain Disguised Tours of 2026 and Castle to rejoin the team. All right. Not much to say about it. I think you can say that Disguise is. It's not, I don't know, man. If I can go like we got 8 teams right now. I think we have 8 teams. Yeah, we have 8 teams in the LCS. And you can say that Cloud9, FlyQuest, Team Liquid are my 3 teams that might be feeling okay. They're gonna win LCS. The Scott and you got maybe Sentinel, Shopify Rebellion, and Lion gonna be my mid teams. And then sadly I have Dignitas and Disguise Toast as my bottom teams. Mostly this Dignitas. I think Dignitas should get a tier on their own. Yeah. So the Skies are gonna have a lot of work cut out for them, and keeping stable is great and all kind of stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Can we just do? Nope. Nope. We're not done. We're not done, Akeem. So I mentioned, so jungle situation is gonna be really difficult for Team Liquid. Well, not anymore because Jose Odo leaves Israel and now decided to join TL. For anybody who don't know Jose Odo, he was probably the first Latin player to join the LCS, and he was with FlyQuest. Not the great FlyQuest of today, but the early edition of FlyQuest that made Worlds in 2020. It kind of flamed out, of course. He was a big deal. The Latin people make a big deal. I think they made like one of those channels to like have the Latin people watches the FlyQuest broadcast in Spanish, which is a huge deal. I would love to see that doing more. And yeah, listen, Jose Dodo is fine. He's a fine player. He's been a veteran of this team. He's been a veteran so long. He plays in North America. He's playing for LLA. He did play for the LTA, by the way. And maybe CB Law, but Israel's decided to release him. And I think if you're Jose Dodo, the veterancy is huge. And you come into a Team Liquid team that is maybe the strongest Team Liquid team ever. Maybe you get Dokla, of course. Maybe you get Quid. Maybe you get Quid. And if you're Team Liquid, like, okay, Team Liquid, it's gonna be strong. It's gonna be really, really strong. Of course, it's gonna be really, really strong. I think Team Liquid will be really, really strong this year. Okay, right. Let's see. Do we have any more LCS news? Any more? No. I think we're good. Oh, one little CB low lose. Tion's is about to head to Pain Gaming. And Tion's probably one of the most prominent bot laners, of course, in the CB LoL era. Going to Pain Gaming is huge. It's absolutely huge for them. Now it is time for us for the LPL, and I have some really sad news about the LPL. And let me just see how much time do I have. Okay, lots of time. I have some sad news about the LPL. Fun Plus Phoenix has decided to leave. No, wait. In fact, they decided to buy in the slots and say bon voyage. The whole team disbanded. Yep, Fun Plus Phoenix is no longer fun, and the Phoenix is now dead, and I'm feeling sad. And why do I feel sad? Because this is the FPX team and the logo that won 2019 Worlds. Yeah, that was the Doinby Crips Tian team who just upset G2. And yes, I said upset because at the time, like G2 were like the best team in the world and the best Western team to ever win to trying to win Worlds. And FPX just upset them 3-0, like clean as a whistle. And then didn't do well in 2020. Come back in 2021 to the absolute disaster. I feel like this is where the FPX fall off began. But it wasn't like the team, the reason why they left as a team. Like that's like the least reason. Is because I think we all mentioned that the LPL situation is getting bad. FPX, as I mentioned, bought out, so that's one part of the problem. But RNG, RNG, man. If you lose FPX, that's fine. But RNG, with that history, with that logo, with that team that has been gone for years, if you lose RNG, brother, I don't know if anybody can watch LPL anymore. On top of them losing English broadcast, although you can say that LPL English got nominated for Creator of the Year, so at least it's done that one. Jesus Christ. LPL is cooked. Like, I get they haven't won Worlds, of course, in the last couple of years, and it's been a Korean domination with DRX and then T1 3 years in a row. In fact, T1 just beating LPL teams left, right, and center. And that's not the only reason, but it's like part of the reason. Like, straight up, man. Straight up. LPL is not having a good time right now. The LPL is not having a great time right now. And to see Fun Plus Phoenix leaving, it's sad. It hurts. It hurts my soul. And yeah, it's just not a good time. And speaking of FPX, one of the members of that team, Milky Way, is just not having a great time. He's just having a terrible, terrible time. He got sent to the black hole. And for those who don't know, Milky Way decided to put, let's just say, bets on some of the games, like do some fixing of some games. He was match fixing. He was literally match fixing. And Riot sees this, and they get the book on him, and they banned him for the entirety of his career. Yeah, congratulations. You're the first ever Tier 1 player to be banned from League of Legends professionally for the rest of your life. You done messed up, Aaron. You done messed up. And this is a prominent good player. I mean, Dom mentioned about this. I mean, so many LPL players just mentioned how great he was. And by the way, I mean, if it wasn't for Milky Way, FPX would never even make it to like the playoffs or something. I think he was loaned from RNG, of course, and then went to FPX, and he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. The reason why FPX was even made in the playoffs in the first place. And for his entire career to be thrown away because of, match fixing. And like, dude, that is stupid, man. That is stupid. Use your common stems. Like, listen, you can say all you will about Riot Games and their incompetence, but even those things are gonna get beaten up and being like taken out. That is stupid on his part, and it cost him everything. And I'm not surprised he got like banned. So yeah, goodbye Milky Way. We don't see you for the rest of your life. It is what it is. Now, let's just go to some news. Daystar joined BFX from the U team, and Raptor just extended his contract for BFK, which not matter much, but that's a huge thing. Let's go LEC. And we got some big news in the LEC, in which Yamato Cannon, who, by the way, does work with Thorin on Last Free Nation and was the former coach of K-Corp, by the way, to some disastrous effects, he's decided to coach Los Rotatones, with Shades being the assistant coach. Now, here's the good news and bad news for Los Rotatones. The good news is you got a really experienced coach, like big coach, really experienced, motivational speaker, Swedish. He'll be fine. The bad news is that Los Rotatones are not going to be like the Bows and Nemesis team, and they're not the streamer team right now. They're not going to be like the streamer content team. It was fun for a hot minute winning all the NLCs and EMA Masters and all that kind of stuff. But for next year, of course, I think Cajal knows that he has to put up a real team. He has to put up a really decent team with some tier 2 players competing for the LEC spot and maybe go to like first rank. I still cannot believe that Lost Daytona has gone through, despite the fact that K Corp and Koi put all the working hours to make it sure to go in, and then you like allow Lost Daytona to be there on free. Like, what are we doing with franchise slots? What are we doing? Anyways, I digress. We already beat into the dead horse. Adelaide Mato Canas is a decent, good coach. I think he'll be a good coach for the Lost Daytona's team, but I'm not sure it's gonna be like, will he stay there for the long run? Because remember, this LEC versus is going to be like one split and that's it. He'll be going back to like tier 2 and have to compete for tier 2. Will he stay there? Will he be like develop and be great? Will he be involved in content creation? That'll be a great question. Will he still be involved with Thorin for like, Summon Insight, of course? That's another question for another day. It's the same thing with like Dom, content creators get to go coaching and all kind of stuff. And now, we have to find out if he's like coaching and balancing coaching and content creation. So it's gonna be really tough for him. But I like the move. Big guy, going to Los Angeles. I supposed to put an N in an Arcanine just to make sure I don't want to disrespect my Swedish friend. And there you go. Los Angeles got Yamato Cannon. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Poby is joining Navi. Oh, Christ. Cry me a river, man. This is nothing wrong with Poby. But Poby was kind of like the reason why Fnatic made it to Worlds. Plain and simple. He did not be like humanoid, and I think they made it to Worlds, which is like the bare minimum they've done. And he now decided to grab in the bare minimum mid laner, who is fine, but I'm not saying otherworldly, of course. So yeah, at least he got something. At least he got a good consolation prize. Paddock is joining BDS. That's a huge deal. I forgot Zeph is going to be the assistant coach of K Corp. That's going to be a huge deal. Paddock, I think Paddock. Let's just see about Paddock here. Don't worry, we have plenty of time. Paddock is a Korean bot laner. Korean bot laner for KT roster challengers. So one of those academy players, of course, play in the bot lane. And gonna play for PDS, which is a huge deal, of course. It's gonna be a really huge deal for him. So Paddock is going to PDS, that's a huge deal. Ice is joining Heretics. That's another huge deal, another ball laner. No, I don't think he's a ball laner. He's more mid to me. But I think another ball laner joining another LEC team, like Ice joining Heretics. I'm sorry, I had to misclick. I misclick on that. Sorry about that. It is what it is. And Ice. Let's see. Ice. Yeah, Ice. Ice. Let's look at a career. Play for Zero Tenacity. Play for LSB Challengers. And now Ice is just decided to. He went for BDS. He was decent. It was fine, but never otherworldly. And now he's going to go to Heretics. That Heretics lineup is going to need a lot of work. Okay. Oda Woman leads lots of Daytonas as coach. We already seen that. Let's see. Well, KO is decided to join K Corp as a new mid laner. And that's a huge deal because K Corp's lineup is going to be huge. You got Kana, who's, by the way, I think he's my LEC player of the year. You got Yike, and you got KO, one of the mid lane players who, by the way, he's a decent mid laner. I'm gonna look at his research. I'm gonna research him. Listen, I'm gonna do some research about him. KO, yeah, KO was, and he was a DRX Challenger player. He joined. He was hopping around between DRX Challenger, DRX Academy, playing the main team and all kind of stuff. So he's got some experience, of course. And I think he's gonna be a really good mid laner for this, a really good K Corp team. And also the good news is that he's Korean and he's Asian, which is not a stereotype, but at least he doesn't have to deal with all the fandom. Yeah, at least he's not like Vladdy, just talk crap about the fandom and all kind of stuff. So at least he's done well. And with him, with Kana, with Yike, with Callista and Busio, it's like I said it again. Cake was gonna win LEC. If K-Corp does not win LEC this year in any other splits, that's a big problem. That's a huge problem. They have to be like a big favorite to win LEC. Maybe win LEC versus or win in LEC spring or summer. I don't know. But they're a huge deal. I believe there's like, wait, I think there's one big news that I haven't even talked about. Um, let's see. I think there's one big news that I haven't even talked about, and it's involved a player. And I think it's a rumor of like, no, Zany. Zany. Now, do I have Zany on the list? No, I haven't done Zany. Let me just do. Let me just. I think I need to do the Sheep Esports thing. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, Zany. He's joining Shopify Rebellion. I forgot to put that in the news. I forgot to put that in the news column. I forgot to put that in the news column. That's my bad. Let me just do that right now. And if you're a Shopify Rebellion, whew, you just pretty much won the offseason. I think David said that. Zany, one of the challengers from KT roster, the heir to supposed to be BDD, which, let's be honest, BDD got that spot locked in. I don't think he's going to get there. But for Shopify Rebellion to get the heir to BDD is like, my lord, my lord, that's a huge, huge deal. And if we look at, let's just say, the transfer hub, if I can look at Shopify Rebellion, we can just look at some of the rosters, of course, while we're at it. And let's just see. Let's just look at the rosters. Let's go LCS. Let's just go LCS first. And if you look at the lineup here, if you're a Shopify, you got Fudge, you still have contracts, you got Zany to replace Palafox, B4 and Zeus. That little upgrade is going to make Shopify Rebellion a pretty good team. A pretty good team for like being like fringe LCS contenders, of course. And then you look at the other team, Liquid, you got Jose Dodo replacing Yon, Quid joining the team. Impact replaced by Morgan. All right, Morgan joining Team Liquid. I mean, he was a player for OK Savings Bro way back when. So Team Liquid, I was expecting Dokla. I was literally expecting Dokla, but hey, your guess is good as mine. Oh, I forgot to mention. I think Golden Glue's the coach, not the player. So I kind of mixed that up. Lion Gaming, of course, you got Zamedo, you got Inspire replacing him, Saint, Berserker, and Isles, with Rainover being coach. That lineup look absolutely look like they're going to win LCS. Flagwise, of course, you got Gakkos, who's replacing Whippo, Griffin, and Quad, and Masu. Busio is gone. They're going to replace the ball laner. Again, Flagwise is not looking bad. Flagwise is not looking really bad. They are looking really good. I think if you're Flagwise, despite the situation, of course. Dignitas, like, all right then. Only coaching change, but that's it. Disguise to replace Castle, but they lost Darkwinds, of course, and Hui and Rael. So I think Sentinels got the ball in for Disguise. Yeah. So Disguise lost 3 of the 5 players in there. And they kept Castle. So it is what it is. And then you got Cloud9, of course. You got Thanatos being in there with APA, with Zenvan, and with Vulcan. And with Blabber. And Inero is going to be the coach of this team. And I think Inero is going to be a really good upgrader than Rebirth. And I think Cloud9 will win. So if you look at all the lineups for the LCS, you got Cloud9, FlyQuest, Team Liquid, maybe Lion Gaming, and Shopper Rebellion as my contenders to win the whole thing. Sentinels is going to be like a work in progress. And then Nintendo's in Disguise, I think I said it, are going to be like in bottom tier. For the LEC, the LEC, the entire G2 lineup is not going to go anywhere. I think it'll be fine. I think G2 are going to be fine, and it is what it is. Giant X, not much roster movements, of course. K Corp, as I mentioned, Kana, Yai, Keo, Calist, and Busia with Rebirth being coached there. Like I said it right now, massive, massive upgrade for K Corp, and K Corp is going to be like the favorites to win. I mean, yeah, G2 stayed put and keep all the players, but let's be honest, unless Skumon and Labrov improved from like last year, then K Corp is going to win the whole thing. K Corp is going to win LEC by a mile. And then you got Lost Resotones, who the Bobs, Veiji, Nemesis, Crowny, and Reckless join in with Yamata Cannon replacing Keijo as coaching. Keijo's going to be like taking a back seat and just like be like a content creator and all that kind of stuff. And then you got like the Common Core Blue, Yukendo, Camilo is going to join Hazel and Prime. So that's a huge upgrade. Kendo's staying, but everything else in Common Core is like a huge upgrade. They got Navi. They replaced the entire, well, not entire, but they replaced everything but the bot lane, which is like a major cleanup. They got rid of Larson. They got rid of Freddy 1-2. The pillars of the Rogue teams from way back when, like Rogue and Koi, are gone. And they're replaced with Mantinier, Red Lurch, Hans D, M7D, and Paris with The Rock joining that. No, not The Rock Johnson. The Rock. Just The Rock. For moves Koi, I think it's pretty much the same thing. Everything's fine for MKoi, not much. Team BDS, Rooster, Pakoda, Nuke, Paddock, and Trimby is going to be the Team BDS. Oh, Trimby. Yeah. Trimby is going BDS. I think David just mentioned about the news a couple of months ago in his stream. And I think Sheepy is confirmed that Trimby is going to Team BDS. So that's a huge upgrade. Former support coming back home to the LEC after having a decent success with Vivo Kin starts. Which, by the way, I think Vivo Kin start just lock up the entire lineup for the next couple of years. Like, that's huge. Huge for the development scene, of course. And then, of course, SK Gaming, I think I mentioned, Wander, Scans, Litter, Joppa, Mickey X. I don't know, man. Either this SK game is going to win LEC or go into like a dumpster fire. Either way, it's not going to be pretty. Team Heretics, we got Tracer, Shion, Saren, Ice, and Stan with Hinon being coach. I think that's a huge upgrade, but I'm not sure they can catch up. Like, you got K Corp, you got G2, you got MKoi, and then Fnatic. I think Fnatic are falling off completely. I mean, let's look at Fnatic's lineup. They just like I don't know what Fnatic's postseason will be like. I think they have nothing. And they got Team Vitality with Nako, Linka's Humanoid replacing Singjack, which means hey, you finally got a team. Great, but I don't know if it's a good one. Karzi and Fleshy. At least Humanoid and Karzi are reunited from their Mind Lions days. Great. Wonderful. And I think that's the LEC and the LCS lineups. Let me just quickly go over the LPL. Okay, no LPL and LCK. Well, Smash is going to be joining D plus Kia, replacing Eamon. All right, good for him. I think he deserves another chance, and I think hey, he's gonna do well, of course. One major big please talk of news. Major news. Cannon's leaving Genji. Now, Canyon leaving Genji is a surprise to basically no one. I'm not. If you want to go with one reason why Genji didn't win Worlds, well, part of his trophy's choking. Well, part of his trophy being choking at the right moment, but Canyon did not have a great year. Like Canyon, man, he did not cover himself in glory this entire year. He was supposed to be the dominant jungler for this dominant Genji team, and he's just kind of not there great. He's just not great. For him, personally, he did not do well. He did not do well for Genji. And I think Worlds, we saw it at Worlds. We kind of saw it against KT Rolter in two of their matches. When they both lost, of course, it was mostly Cannon. This is the reason why Genji did not beat KT, was mostly Cannon, and cause outplaying Canyon, which is something I never got to say. I never thought I'd say Well, Cos was a veteran. Is a veteran player. Don't get me wrong, but Kennedy not played is not just not looking great. Not looking great. So he left. It is what it is. I'm not that surprised, of course. And I think Genji's lineup going to be changing. Of course, they need a good jungler. And of course, they T1, of course, I mentioned. Teddy going to OK Save his back. That's fine. 100 Live Esports, I mentioned, of course, replacing Gumayushi, of course. And I believe that's pretty much all the lineups. All the lineups. I think, let me just look at a tier list. I can actually put tier lists. Okay, maybe not that now. But that is all the lineups. All the lineups. The rumor lineups, of course, for the LEC, LCS, and the LCK. LPL doesn't have it so far, but those are all the rumor lineups and transfers that's going on within the League of Legends scene and all the news. Now that is just part one. That is just part one, guys. I'm gonna just do the LCS. Just finish it off there. That is just part one of the entire catching up on League of Legends, all kind of stuff. Part two, coming up, we'll be talking about everything outside of the RIP in esports terms, from different formats, worlds, first stand, the whole 9 yards. We'll be talking about all the things that is off the Rift. So we talk the transfers and all kind of stuff that's taking place off the Rift, on the Rift. Next episode, we'll be talking about off the Rift. So this is like a two-parter, of course. Like part one, we'll be talking about all the transfers and news and all kind of stuff, and then yes, the dog is just bawling out his eyes out. It's past midnight, of course, on this Tuesday morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. And part two, we'll be talking about on the Rift stuff. We got LCK changes, CB law changes, LCS changing their format changes, discussions, worlds, first stand changes, all the kind of stuff, all the crazy stuff. And if I get more news about this stuff, I will be talking about you. If there's any stuff, I will do a TikTok. I've only done a TikTok on Gumayushi. I'm just getting started, guys. I just got it back. I'm back. I'm better than ever. I'm healthy. I need a shave, by the way. I haven't trimmed for like 2 weeks at least, more than 2 weeks. So I got to get that sorted out. My parents are going to go back to work in a couple of hours. So, yeah, everything is kind of back to normal the way it's supposed to be. We are good. I am good. And I hope you guys are good as well. Thank you for watching this video. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell your parents you love them. Tell your grandparents, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews you love them. Uncle Charles, thank you for making me my buddy boy. I love you so much. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next time.